Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's Monday morning and I thought today I do a what I eat for breakfast in a week, Monday to Friday, because normally on Saturday and Sunday I do tend to get breakfast out. So yeah, hope you find some inspiration and let's get cracking with some breakfast. I decided to make baked oats, which they're absolutely delicious and they're so simple. All you have to do is add to a blender a very ripe banana, some porridge oats, half a teaspoon of baking powder and some plant milk, and then just gonna blend everything until you have a smooth kind of pancakes batter, and then you just pour the batter into an oven-proof dish, and then you can really top it with whatever you like. I went for some crunchy peanut butter, which is my absolutely favorite, and some blueberries, but you can also use strawberries or raspberries or frozen berries. And then all we need to do now is just to bake it in the oven at 200 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes. And the result is honestly so indulgent and creamy. It's like eating cake for breakfast. You guys have to try it.
Agents of the other, beyond gravel, beyond all.
Okay, I think this is officially my favorite breakfast. It's like eating cake batter.
Building castles out of sand, reaching for the grand.
It's so good. On Tuesday, I was feeling for something savory, so I decided to make myself a tofu scramble kind of brunch bowl. I started by slicing some mushrooms, which I then add to a pan with a drizzle of oil. And in a separate pan, I crumble my medium firm to extra firm tofu, and then I added some spices and some nutritional yeast to make it extra delicious. I stir everything together, and then I also added a dash of plant-based milk just so it gets a little bit creamier. And then at the same time I also keep cooking the mushrooms until they are kind of like golden brown. They only take about 5 minutes. And then I added some chopped kale. You can also use spinach or whatever kind of greens you have on hand. A dash of soy sauce until they are kind of like cooked and wilted. To assemble my brunch bowl, I just put the tofu onto a bowl. I then added some leftover cooked quinoa. You can also use things like a slice of toast or some brown rice. Honestly, anything really works. I then added the mushrooms and the cooked cavolo nero with the soy sauce. And I also added a little bit of kimchi because I really love kimchi and tofu scramble together, and I love the spicy kick of the kimchi, but of course you can leave it out. I then added some sliced tomato and a sprinkle of hemp seed, and this bowl was so delicious and so filling. On Wednesday, I decided to make my grain-free granola. So to a large bowl, I've added some chopped almonds and pecans, some pumpkin seed, some sunflower seed, and some ground flaxseed. I then mix everything together with a little bit of ground cinnamon, which makes it extra delicious. I then pour over some melted coconut oil and some maple syrup, and the maple syrup and the cinnamon together are so delicious. You are gonna absolutely love this granola. Mix again everything together, and then I transfer the sticky mixture to a baking tray covered with some parchment paper so the granola won't stick to the baking tray. And then you want to spread it out as best as you can. It's very nice actually if you have some kind of like granola clusters, so they get really nice and crunchy. And then what we do, we just bake it in the oven for about 40 minutes, and then we're gonna let it cool down completely. I also like to add some coconut chips. I really like the coconut flavor in the granola. We are mixing everything together again, and then you can store it in a jar or an airtight container for anything between 4 to 5 weeks. It's so delicious. Just make sure the granola is cold before you put it into a jar, otherwise it might get a little bit soggy. I like to serve the granola very simply with some plain coconut yogurt and some fruit. You can obviously use whatever fruit you like. I went for blueberries and some raspberry, but I really also love having it with banana or some sliced peaches when they are in season. And this is such a delicious breakfast. You can also have this as a snack. It's my absolutely favorite granola at the moment. On Thursday, I felt for a savory breakfast again, so I decided to make my tempeh breakfast ash, which is actually a recipe from my ebook. So I started to chop some sweet potato and white potato, drizzle them with some olive oil, salt and pepper, and I just roasted them in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes until they are cooked. In the meantime, I've chopped half of a red onion. You can use white onion as well. And I also added a small green chili just to add some extra kick. I then add a drizzle of olive oil to a pan, and then I added the chopped onion and chili and cooked. While that was cooking, I also chopped my tempeh into cubes. And then I just added the tempeh to a large bowl, and I added some soy sauce and a drizzle of maple syrup, some chili flakes and some ground cumin. I then just mix everything together. You can also do this the night before if you remember, but I never do, until all the tempeh is nicely coated. Once the onion was kind of caramelized, I added one chopped red bell pepper, and then I also added some sliced mushroom, which I had leftovers from the previous day. You can kind of use any veggies that you like. I really like peppers and mushroom together, and you cook them until they're soft, about 10 minutes. And then you add the tempeh cubes, and you cook everything together again for another, I would say, 10 to 15 minutes until the tempeh starts to kind of like go brown. I then added some chopped greens. You can also use spinach or kale, whatever greens you have on hand. It's a nice way to add lots of vegetables to one pan. And finally, we're gonna add our cooked potatoes. So you want to make sure they are soft. You just add everything to a pan and you gently combine everything together. I love this dish so much. It's also a great option for lunch. It's a lovely way to add so many different flavors, so many different vegetables. It's very high in protein thanks to the tempeh. It's bursting with so much flavor and texture. Is honestly such a winner, and it also makes some great leftover for the next day. Friday, I decided to make my coconut chia pudding. So all you have to do is add your chia seed to a large bowl, add some plant milk and some coconut yogurt, and then you want to mix everything together. Make sure to mix really well to avoid any lumps, and then ideally you want to set this in the fridge overnight or for at least 2 to 3 hours until you have like a thick and gloopy kind of consistency, like a chia pudding, I guess. I love this breakfast because it's so light and fresh and so creamy and delicious. I almost feel like a dessert. I love to add some fruits, whatever you have on hand. I went for strawberries and blueberries, and then I added some cacao nibs. You can also add things like coconut chips or granola. It's honestly so simple, and it's also great for like a very healthy dessert. And I really love it in summer because, as I said, it's light and fresh, perfect for the warmer months.